I feel this season, out of all the seasons that I've been at Watford, been the toughest season. And I don't think in my career I have to go through anything as tough as it has been. I know for a fact, like speaking to the boys, things are going to change. Everyone's been working hard and it's just having that fight in us. No one's going to let us give up and we'll keep fighting.
Okay, George, here we are in the first team dressing room at the training ground. First of all, we're going to start sort of personal stuff. Can you just tell us a little bit about you growing up, sort of where you're from, who you lived with, that sort of thing?
So I was brought up in Pinner, which is sort of near to Harrow. I've got 4 siblings, so all of them used to live in the house. I've got 3 sisters and 1 brother. Most of them have moved out now, so it's just me, my sister, mum and dad living at home. And my journey sort of began when I was maybe under-6, under-7s. Before my Sunday league team, we went to go and play Brentford. I got scouted by Miguel Rios, who's actually here now for the first team recruitment. I got scouted by Miguel, and then when they closed down, I sort of just went on a few trials and then ended up Watford, and I've been here ever since. So
joined Watford about 12, wasn't it? Can you just tell us a little bit about, obviously you mentioned that you went on trial and stuff, but joining them, how big a moment was that in your career, and do you have good memories of that?
Yeah, definitely. I remember I came on trial for like a few weeks, and then they were sort of saying they weren't too sure whether like they were going to sign me or not, so then obviously I had to think of other options just in case as a backup. And then I ended up like playing a few games and I ended up doing really well, and then at the time my coach, I think it was Rob Morris, and then he called my parents one day and was like, yeah, we want to sign George. And I remember I was actually on holiday, and then I was delighted, just couldn't get back from holiday to sign my contract.
Yeah, and then obviously leading up to the scholarship, how much did that mean to you?
Yeah, that was like a massive moment for me and my family. I was like really grateful to be offered that scholarship, and yeah, I feel like just since then I pushed on even more.
Last season was obviously quite a special one for a variety of reasons. If we go right to the start, obviously training with the first team during pre-season. Can you just tell me how you found out about that? Was it a phone call?
Yeah, it was. My coach at the time, Tom Hart, I finished training, I was just in Costco in Bushy, and Tom Hart phoned me and he was like, I got some great news. One of the first team players got injured, so you're going to be on the bench tomorrow. He was like, but it's probably unlikely that you're going to get on. And then I've gone to the game the next day, and in the warm-up, I think Cabba got injured, so he's pulled out, and then they've just said, get ready, you're coming on. And then I ended up playing the full game, thought I did quite well, and then since then I sort of just played the last few games with them in the pre-season.
I was going to ask you about some of the other players. Obviously Troy was still here at that point. Were there any of the other defenders particularly helpful to you?
I think during like the pre-season games I played a lot of Will, so I feel like Will was great, like helping my confidence, and like sort of having someone by your side with that much experience, it makes your job a lot easier. So yeah, he helped me a lot.
Yeah, and what was it like playing against first team opposition? Was it quite a shock?
Yeah, I feel like at first I was like a bit nervous, but then once you get playing your game, you kind of just forget the opposition and it just feels like any other game, to be honest. And I thought I dealt with it quite well. I've started so high and like sort of set the bar so high, so it's almost maintaining that. But then at the same time, if you're able to do it at that level, then it should sort of help you as you go down the layers. So yeah, I thought it helped massively.
You've been given a lot of sort of responsibility, I suppose, that we're talking about last season still, but that must have meant quite a lot to you, I would imagine, sort of been given that faith by Omar and the rest of the staff.
No, 100%, yeah. Omar, like, since I've been here, Omar was my coach, like when I used to play up with the like 15s and 16s before he got promoted to the 21s, and so I've sort of had that relationship with him from the past, and all the time when I've worked with Omar, he's been great with me. Same with Shozza as well. Yeah,
and then moving on, sort of it was a busy few months. January, I think, was the professional contract. How much did that mean to you?
Yeah, that was like a massive pinnacle, like a massive moment for me and my family. Like, I was just so grateful. Like playing as an under-7, under-8, you sort of used to look up to the boys, like the scholar boys, and then obviously signing my scholarship and then going on to sign my pro was just even better, and I'm just really grateful for that opportunity.
Has it always been like plain sailing? Obviously, like reading these questions out, it seems like progress. Has there been some obstacles along the way that you've had to overcome?
Not necessarily. I feel like there was a time like sort of maybe before under-14s, going into under-14s, where a lot of the boys used to be playing up. And I used to be like to my mum, why aren't I playing up, this, that? And she would just be like, well, you can either go 2 ways about it. You can sulk about it, or you can or you can just show them what you can do and then fight to play up. And I feel like that's what I did, and I feel like that will always be installed in me, that things won't always go your way, it's just how you deal with it. I feel like from a younger age, like I've been captains in other age groups, and I feel like I've always had that sort of like positivity and like leadership role. So for me, like when things are going tough, some players might struggle with that, but for me, I feel like I'm able to just like put it to the back of my head and say, well, come on, let's just keep going, let's not give up. And I feel like I'll put that onto the other boys as well.
Yeah, and then in October, I think one of the wins this season against QPR, the 4-2 win, featured a lot of first team names, the likes of Asprilla, Bayo, Kalu, and you were obviously captain for that game. What was that like?
That was really special to me, to be fair. Like, I thought Omar could have given the armband to one of the senior players, but the fact that he still gave that to me, and I think I was the youngest player on the pitch in that game for both sides, so I was really grateful. And obviously still having them being able to talk to me and like show me that respect, like likewise for me to them. So yeah, no, that was really good, that was really special.
Yeah, I was just going to ask how they sort of responded to you in that way. Was it like you were in charge of like?
Nah, definitely not, but I feel like they just helped me, they sort of gave me that respect, and I gave the same back to them that they deserve, and I thought they were brilliant, they helped all of us boys.
Can you just briefly talk us through, how you qualify for Wales, how the first call-up came about, that sort of thing? Yeah, so I qualified through my granddad. So my dad's dad was born in Wales and he's Welsh. And my first call-up would have been under 15, under 16, I think it was. I just went to Cardiff for a training camp, and that was prior to going to Slovakia, and I did really well at that training camp, and then I got selected for Slovakia for a double header, so we played Slovakia twice over the course of a week, and we did really well. We won one of the games and we drew the other game, and I had a really good two games, and then I feel like I just kicked on from there. I then got called up for the age group above, so that was in November. Then the following February I went to Spain with the 2004s. We did well there as well. Again, we came second in the tournament, and then I feel like just since there I sort of showed them what I can do, and I feel like they got that trust in me to call me up when needed, so yeah. I know you've mentioned before the influence of your parents sort of travelling to watch you home and abroad. How important have they been to your success?
Massively. I don't think I'll be able to do anything without my parents, like from a younger age, like dad doing the car shifts, taking me to training, then mum's at home. As soon as I walk through the door, the dinner's on the table. I feel like just that balance of mum and dad helping me, and like if I'm ever struggling, like there's always one of them to talk to, like mentally, and yeah, just helped me so much.
And siblings and friends, do you have other influences as well?
Yeah, 100%. Like all of my siblings are really supportive. My brother comes to watch most of my games as well, so that's nice. And like that QPR game the other day, I think like all my family came to watch that game, so that was nice to see them like in the stands, and especially after the game. And likewise with my friends, like any games that my friends can come down to, they come down to watch, so I feel like that's good that they're supporting me.
So next steps, George, obviously from where you are now, what are your sort of short and long term ambitions here? Yeah,
short term I feel like things definitely, like getting things back to the way they should be with the 21s. I feel like starting to get a change in results. And then long term, obviously, hopefully look to get a new contract and just keep trying to push on, gain some first team experience, whether that's here or on loan, and then hopefully try and push my way into the first team.